Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world,
Do not conform to the pattern of this world,
but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
But be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Then you will be able to test and approve
What God's will is.
What God's will is.
His good, pleasing, and perfect will."
What is one thing that you learned through Deeper?
I definitely learned a little bit more about myself and spiritual gifts that I have been putting on the back burner, and I'm really just excited to see where that goes in the future and where God leads me using those spiritual gifts.
There is at one point where we started talking about words in our class. Characteristics that you see in yourself or you think that could be made differently in yourself. The only word I really remember, and it's because I had it in a Bible study the next couple of weeks after, and I kept hearing the word, it was the word authentic. For me, it meant to be the best person I can be. It meant to show my colors, to be who I am.
God hasn't called us to walk the earth alone. I'm not talking about romantic kind of love. I'm talking about the idea that God has sent us to do life with one another. And even the disciples he sent out 2 by 2, and he's calling us to gather and to really dive in deeper to who he is and who he is to not just us but to humanity, and how once we've learned and are continuing to learn what that looks like, then we're being sent out and we are able to do more evangelism, do more discipleship, and we're able to, my favorite phrase is to give Christ away.
I learned the importance of our stories. We had a night where we wrote out all our stories, and then we went around and shared them in some smaller groups. And there was so much healing that happened that night just by voicing the different things that we've gone through and voicing the different struggles and realizing that we're not alone when we go through these things.
I remember sharing part of my story, and some of my best friends were at the table, but they never heard that part of my story, and they kind of reacted, and it was a little comical how they reacted.
God has chosen to reveal himself through stories in the Bible, and so that right there just shows us the importance of stories, and he has invited us into his story. Our smaller stories are now interwoven into his bigger story, and so I'm so thankful that we have been called to do that.
I did learn how important it was to really sit down and listen, not only to listen to the person that's telling the story, but listen to how other people are responding to their story, because that creates a unique community that you can't find really anywhere else.
Christ has chosen to do that, and we need to be vocal with that and to not be ashamed of our story and not allow those things to, even though in the past they might be shameful or whatever, but that is no longer defining us, but we are defined now by God's story.
Something that God has taught me during this series of Deeper has been that he does not call the equipped. He equips those who are willing to answer his call. And that is just so comforting to me every week, because I don't have gifts in teaching or preaching or public speaking, and yet I do them every single week because God is faithful and he provides exactly what I need every single week to do the task that he's given me to do.
God made me in a particular way, and he made us to be all unique, and Romans 12:2 describes it perfectly. It says, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world," and I think that has changed my walk a little bit more.
My story is now a story of redemption, and I can share that to hopefully bring hope and goodness to a broken world.
It's just been incredible to see how God has provided everything that I needed, and all I needed to do was say yes.
And I think that this time has really equipped us to go out and to give Jesus away.
So now that the season is completed, I am wrapping up with Deeper, and I am finishing my semester as a paraeducator at a special needs school. I am excited to announce that I'm going back out on the field In January, I will be launching with a brand new squad, and I will be with them for about 5 months. This will be my last World Race launch, and I know that you're thinking, you've heard this before, and it's true, I have said that before, but I know that this is finally my last one because I already have things in the work for fall of 2019. If you want to partner with me, if you want to financially support me, if you would like to pray for me and to just follow along with my journey, everything you need is in the blog that I have included this video in. So thank you so much for following so far. Could not do this without all of your support. Love you so, so much, and have a wonderful Christmas. I will talk to you in the new year.